Hello, welcome back everybody. I'm JD. I'm an American living here in Amsterdam, and this is my knitting podcast. Let's get right into it. So today was lovely. As you can tell by the fact that my face is completely blown out, it's actually sunny here today. So I did some yoga, and I went outside, and I went to all the yarn stores in central Amsterdam. There's one other that was outside of Amsterdam that I didn't go to, but I went shopping. And I went shopping because I have a test knit that I'm doing, which we can talk about more later. It hasn't really even started, but I needed some yarn for it because I have to work the next couple of weekends, so I can't really get anything for it. So I went to 3 stores. One was called Hooks and Yarn. It's on Haarlemmerstraat, and that was really nice. They had a bunch of Holst stuff in the cones that they could spin off for you, which I will probably take advantage of later. I went to another one called the Off Stop, and they were more central, and they had a lot of Rowan yarns, but not much else. It was really nice, but not really what I wanted to do, especially because I wanted to do this test knit a little cheap. And then I went to Stephen and Penelope because they just have the best selection and the best color choices and stuff. So let's get into it. I haven't even opened it yet. That's how new it is. So the deal is, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. The test knit is color work. Have you seen me do any color work before? The answer is no. So I'm going to buy as I go and see what happens. The main contrast color will be this Holst Super Soft ink. I have a cone of it still for my Brette Scarf, which we'll go over later. But I have this I bought just to do some swatching and to get me going. And I think this will be the main color. And then I'm going to cycle through colors as opposed to what they suggest of just using 2 colors. And the pattern is going to be striped. Pattern TBD, but I decided that we're going to do it in multiple colors instead of just one. So we're going to start off with this. It looks really yellow on the camera because everything's blown out, but sort of like a Spanish yellow. It's West wool. It's the bicycle. It's like a darker yellow that they have that we're going to use. I think that would be good. That would be for the yoke. And then I just bought a red from Holst, and then that will be the second color. So very excited. I've never done color work. I've never done a test knit, and we'll get to it. But I'll tell you more about that next time. But first purchase, or most recent purchase, let's say. Sorry for me blowing out. I am so white, and the sun is so bright that I'm not even used to this. I have no idea how to control this in my house. It's a very dark room, as you can tell. Everything is blue. I also bought Chiagoo Needles. Why did I buy Chiagoo Needles? Because I got a tax return and I have way too much money to spend, so why not spend it on knitting? I also bought a designer light, which is right up there, which is really nice. It's a Tom Dixon melt pendant. Fantastic. But it's their interchangeable needle set. It's the metal one. It's pretty typical. It comes with a bunch of cords and stuff. I think that will be really good. The reason why I thought about these is, one, I wanted to try them out. But also, I currently have the Otte Clicks one, and these are nice, but when I learned to knit, I knit on the Otte fixed cables, and those were really good. They had a smooth transition, they were nice and sharp, the metal was really slippery, and then when I got the Clicks set, they have a bit more of a blunt tip. I'll show you guys. The tip is a little bit more blunt than you would think. So for knitting things with more fiber content rather than wool content, it's a little bit more difficult because it splits a little easier. It's not so bad when you get up to the upper sizes, but for the smaller sizes, it's a little bit more difficult. Also, the way that it clicks in, it has a little ridge on the... Oh, I'm so blown out. It has a little ridge that it connects to here. I can show you. On the bottom. And I knit super tight. I guess I'm just that type of person. And when it goes over, or I'm trying to do some stuff, Like it really like catches. I don't know if you can see that right there. It really catches right about here, and I feel like it gets the yarn, and sometimes I like accidentally push it and stuff. So I wanted to try something new. I figured the Chiagoo was a good way to go, so I bought me some of those. I really haven't used them yet. I used it to cast on a sleeve this morning, and I used it to, I put it on my Brette Scarf instead of the fixed needles, but haven't really done much of that, so yeah. And then I also got this book, The Ultimate Sweater Book by Amy Herzog. I got this from the Nerdy Knitting podcast. She really said that you could do everything based on this, and I think my ultimate goal is just to like design everything I make and not necessarily follow a pattern or use something as inspiration and then just make it. I love cables. I have another cable book that I bought, but I don't really know how to like construct a sweater, and so I'm going to teach myself, I guess. Also, it's really helpful. I mean, it says things pretty simply in here, and it also gives examples of like patterns with different weights and stuff. But you can basically use it to figure out your measurements. And the last 2 sweaters that I've knit, which we will get into, don't really fit me, and I followed the pattern and like something went wrong, or I'm not really sure. So I wanted to be able to make my own sweaters. I mean, because that was the ultimate goal anyway. So I think that there's a lot of knowledge in here, which I will read before I do any pattern, and then I will take and make into whatever, so it actually fits, because I don't know what's been happening lately, but it's just not working. So more sweaters for me to come, and we'll see what happens with that. I'd love to put out some designs in this world. I'd love to have some cable knits out there and do a bunch of things, but I think first things first is just easy. So, to start off my designing journey, last time I showed you, come on, light focus. Last time I showed you the drops that I bought, the drops cotton merino. I just have it in black and natural, and I was going to knit something for my boyfriend. Now this is oversized, he's not this fat. But he wanted like a combination of a shirt that he used to have from All Saints and like this one that he has from like Costs and like a different stripe pattern. Anyway, it was just a drop shoulder design, so I was like, okay, I need a project, I need to do this. And I get to start from scratch. So it actually fits because I did the math right, which is rare. And then I did some stuff. So I finished the torso yesterday. It looks really big here. It's just a basic drop shoulder. It's like a box design. Got a little bit of a collar thing going on. It has a split hem. I haven't trimmed any of that or anything, but it's like a ribbing. It's a 1x1 ribbing with a split. And then you have the sleeves that I need to start next. So 2 sleeves, a lot of yarn, a lot of knitting. And I think it actually turned out all right. I had to rip back a couple of times. The neck didn't really work the first time, so we had to do that. And then something else happened, and I had to rip out a bunch of stitches or whatever. But yeah, I'm actually really kind of proud of this. This is going pretty quickly. I think I started this 3 weeks ago, and now I have this. I'm a pretty monogamous knitter. Part of the reason why I'm launching these so like sporadically is because I do big projects and I do like one project at a time. I have a couple things usually, but like it's mostly I have one focused project at a time. And yeah, so I've just been knitting stockinette on this giant sweater for him, and yeah, I think it looks good. So we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully it will be done soon and everybody will like it and we'll all be happy. I'm also doing this for oh god, Needles at the Ready, I want to say. They have a Let's Hear It for the Boys knit along, and you're just supposed to use like male patterns, male dyers, knit it for a male, something like that. I'd really like to figure out what other patterns are out there for men. I still don't know if I really like them in general. I I just think that they're kind of boring, or they're not that exciting, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's part of the reason why I wanted to design, is so I can make some more interesting things, but not necessarily interesting in the way that like lady knitters do it sometimes. I'm not really quite sure. I would need to find my groove, but I have some ideas and I want to do some different things. We're not talking Stephen West, but we're talking, I don't know, maybe some color blocking or something. As you can tell, I enjoy some color blocking. So yeah. Oh, another thing is I did get off of Instagram doing the Kitchener stitch for the shoulder seams, which this needs to be blocked and stuff a little bit, but I think it looks kind of nice. I was doing mattress stitch for forever, and it's just, it looks more continuous. It looks a lot nicer. So I don't know. We'll go for that. I'm doing a lot of different things with this one that I've learned. Like I learned that I picked up stitches for the collar on all my knits before wrong, so fixed it in this one. My make ones were not correct either. I don't know what I did before or how I got that information. It was a combination of different things and different patterns, I think. But and beginner knitter me got confused. Anyway, those will be fixed here, and we'll get this done. So I cast on the sleeve for it. It's just the cuff right now. Not too exciting. I'm going to start with the cuff and go up, because I figured that way I could fix the length a little bit more as I go, as opposed to knitting it down and then like decreasing and then like finding that it's too short and then like ending here and then having to extend it or something. I don't know. It seemed to work for me. Maybe I'll try it differently, but I don't know. It's good. I have no idea how to grade patterns. I would love to write this up and put this out there. It's super, super, super simple. It's like a great basic jumper. And I think it would be really good also if I want to experiment with cable knits and getting that stuff done. I'd size it for myself though, instead of him, because it's huge. But I don't think that would be too difficult to do. The question is just like, how would I grade for a bunch of different sizes if I didn't like, you know, what's a small? Like what fits a small? I have no idea. I don't know. Something to consider in the future. But if I do, I'll write a pattern up, put it out for free, see what happens. It can't hurt. And then like if I ever get motivated or if people have some interest, then maybe I'll start grading these things and put them out. I feel bad putting things out that aren't size inclusive. I mean, for a first designer, whatever, a couple sizes is fine. But if I actually want to start making, you know, this a thing, then probably it should be more than just like my boyfriend's size and my size, right? Because not everybody fits like us. So there's that. I suppose we'll stay with the works in progress because that's where we are. So when I focused a lot on that this time because I wanted to finish it by the 1st of August, which is when that knit along is done. I think it might be the end of August, but for me it's the 1st of August because I need to move on. But I also got a little further on my Brette Scarf, and this is in the Holst Super Soft. I did a lot of knitting when I was on holiday. I went to Greece for a week and a half, and this is my little knitting project while I was there. It was really nice. It became super easy. I think it's beautiful. It is a little sheer. I think I used too big of a needle, but it is Holst Super Soft, and it will get a little plumper. I don't know if it will get much plumper. I think I probably should have gone down and used like a 2.75, something like that, but I'm on a 3.25 millimeter. But yeah, no, it's fun to knit. I really like it. And what I did learn is I had a different cable needle that I was using, but because these are just like 1x1 things, I learned how to do a twist without a cable needle. I'm not convinced that it's entirely faster because I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily faster, but I like it and I like doing it. So I've been doing the twist without a cable needle for that. I do like cables with a cable needle. I think it's just as fast. I know people don't like to fuss with it. I think if you have a good needle that's like wood or something, or a little texture or whatever, then I mean it can go just as fast. I drop stitches like nobody's business because I'm just so tight that like it doesn't even make a difference. So cable needle it is, but twisted stitches, which is going to come in handy because I have this one design that I can't find a pattern for or anything, that I saw like once last fall or whatever, that I've been dreaming of making a sweater for, and I need to figure out how to do that, and it's a ton of twisted stitches. So that's what we're going to try to do with that. But I think that's going to have to wait until the new year because I have quite the calendar of upcoming knitting projects, and I have quite the stuff to do. So this one actually is about halfway done now. I'd estimate I want to make it as tall as I am. I'm about 6 foot, like 183, and right now we're just below the hip. And then I also want to use this because it's on my cone of Holst Super Soft in the ink, which I'm going to use as the contrast color for my my color work thing. So I need to finish this before I can like cruise on the color work thing, and it will be ready for sweaters time, or scarf time rather, which I'm very much looking forward to. I love a scarf. I love things that keep me warm. That's why I started knitting. I think this is a beautiful pattern. It looks really good in the light. It's a little less defined up close because it's so dark, but the way that this rakes, I think it's really nice. Anyway, I'm obsessed. I'll finish this super quick after I'm done with the sweater, and we'll get things going. So, it's my second work in progress. And I know I'm not really following the regular podcast, finished objects, works in projects, progress, how things are going, all of that. But here we are. Another work in progress that I have is I've been having these wonderful meetings at work. And I don't really have to talk much or lead the meeting, which is great. Sorry, I'm fixing this. I don't have to talk much. I don't have to lead the meeting. So I've been working on baby blankets. It's just a simple waffle stitch baby blanket. I'm almost done with this yarn, thank God. It's the crochet yarn that I had in my stash from Hobbii. It's just acrylic. I don't like the color. I don't like using it. So I've been holding it double and doing a waffle stitch baby blanket. This is my second one because I already did a first one. It's the same stuff as in the last episode. I made a more dynamic blanket, which I sent over to my brother and sister-in-law. But yeah, it's good meeting knitting. It's not, God, I'm really blowing out here, sorry. It's good meeting knitting. It's easy to work on. It's fast to work up, which is what I want to do. So when somebody has a baby next, we're going to give it to them. We're already going to give one to a friend that's having a birthday next weekend. And so we'll bring a little baby blanket surprise, and they can't refuse it because it's a gift that's handmade, and I want it out of my house. So I think I have like 2 more balls after this, and then maybe like a half of others. Can't see me. So yeah, this will be over pretty quickly. Maybe this week, maybe next week. I usually only do it when I'm in meetings because it's really easy. I can stop anywhere. It doesn't really have much of an issue. But yeah, baby blankets. Then, I'm really going through this podcast really quickly, and you can barely even see me. I'd like to talk finished objects and what we're doing here. So, this is my Whispers sweater by Maxim Sir. Now, I've had issues with this. Last time, I thought I was going to run out of yarn. I did not run out of yarn. It's a beautiful yarn. It's the Rowan felted tweed. It's fantastic. But the fit of this, I don't know what I did or who, what, whatever. It does not fit at all. And I tried to do some surgery and it just didn't work. So the front collar really drifts up on the neck, and then like I have these weird like flaps here. I don't know. So I tried to like stretch out the sleeves, and now the sleeves are too long. And I tried to stretch out the bottom to make it a little bit better, but then there's all this like, I don't know if you can see it, like extra area in the chest, and the sleeves are too tight. And moral of the story is it doesn't fit me. It's not a sizing issue, because also I had my boyfriend try it on, and this would be what his size was, and he was like, no, this doesn't fit at all. So I don't know what happened. I think like this stitch count maybe was off. Like it needs to be less in the back and less in the front, because it was really like A-lining out before I blocked it. And it's just, I don't know. But I really like this yarn, and it was kind of expensive. So I think I'm going to take it apart. I hate to say it. I think I'm going to take it apart. I really wanted like a thick, like boyfriend sweater, tweedy thing. And because of the amount of alpaca and viscose in this, it's lovely, but it's like a little lighter. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I think what I might do is, well, take it apart if I can. This is really toothy yarn, which I think is beautiful. And it really makes for a good 1x1 rib, by the way. Twisted rib as well. But I might take like some like Holst or something like that, something fairly cheap, and then re-knit, not this pattern, but knit the yarn with something a little bit with more structure, and do that. So I'll either like design my own raglan, maybe, or I made the Otte Sweater by Jared Flood in Brooklyn Tweed. I just did it all in black. I didn't even like do the color work. I know it was a color work one. But I might do that again, and that's a worsted weight, which is why I was thinking that if I did this with like 100% wool, like woolly wool, that it might be nice, and that fits. I know that it works in my size, and then I just do that. I'm not really quite sure what this project is next, but I know that I'm not going to wear this, and that is super unfortunate. I mean, it took like 2-3 weeks, and so it's not like a waste of time, and I enjoy knitting it, but this needs to turn into something else. Also, I didn't do the, you can't really see it, I didn't do the make one rights correctly. Something happened, so there was like a lot of space in here, and like it's a little twisted, and I don't know, something about this just is not working for me in terms of fit. I think if I had that book, that raglan book, that I could have changed it a little bit better, because I wanted it oversized, but then it was like too oversized, but like in a weird way. I don't know. If some of you have some tips or have gone through this before, let me know. But this sweater is not going to happen again. I might use things from it. I love the twisted rib. I think the German short rows in the neck are great. I think that this, if I were to do the increases correctly, I think that this would be a lovely detail. So I might take parts of this, but I feel like I have to redo the stitch counts and like the yoke depth. I actually kind of like the yoke depth. That's just going in a weird way. It feels wonderful. I don't know. It's not going to be one that I wear. So it has to be taken apart and made into something that I will wear. I don't want to waste this yarn. And I can't give it to anybody, which is unfortunate. So we'll see. I also tried some neck surgery with this. So I looked up online, and you can try to like tighten a neckband. And because this was knit top down, I like couldn't pick out the neck to redo it, which I thought was the issue. It was not. But what you can do is you can sew like on the inside, like a strip or two, and you can tighten it and like bring it in, and then like also do it on like the edging and like to it with a little bit of elastic. And that helped, but still it's just a weird fit. So I took it out, and I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like, the neck is even so rectangular, and like that's the beginning of it. So like, how did that even work? It just like didn't fit. Your neck is round. It's not a rectangle. But if you look on his pictures, like it's fine. I don't know. I'm gonna put it down to user error, and we'll go from there. And then I also wanted to discuss. The sun is out. It really is out. And I'm sorry about all of this. And my summer pullover. So I used this. It was perfect. So like it's the DNA pullover that I made. It's a cable knit thing. I knitted in Tencel. That was a terrible idea. It should have been knit in wool. So it had some structure. Because Tencel is very, very drapey. But it was like a perfect temperature. It's super soft. It looks good. The only problem that I'm having with this is as I wore it, which I wore it a lot, is it draped. Like this is like a lady dress. Like you can tell I'm wearing shorts right now. And like, this is how long it is. Like you can barely see, I mean, it's just like raising over my knee. I need to take out, my waist is here. So like I need to take out like from here down, which is probably almost like a foot of knitting, and then remove it, and then knit the bottom hem again. I have some extra yarn. I'm sure that I could probably reuse some of the yarn that I'll unpick from this, but like I looked also a video for how to fix this too, because I'll wear it longer, but like I won't love it. I won't wear it as much because it's too long. So what I guess you can do, and it's worth trying to figure out on this one, is like put like a lifeline in somewhere here, cut this out, like unravel it. Or probably I think I have to cut here because it was a bottom up. So probably here, unravel it, then rip back to the lifeline, and then from there knit on my my hem. So that would be interesting. I don't know if I'll get to it anytime soon, but I think that's a project for next summer because I like it, and I don't know. I feel like I need to do like a summer sweater a year because it's cold here. Like, and I'm also a cold person, so I would definitely wear like a summer sweater with a little bit of holiness. And I want to wear this one. I spent so much time on it. It was my first like big cable project. I think it's lovely, but I don't want to wear it like it is because it's too long, and it just keeps growing. It just keeps on getting longer. I don't know what it is, but that's it. I think maybe next year. What I was thinking is just like a simple like raglan with like a wool or maybe like a mohair, but like just like a fine knit on 5 millimeters, which is what this is. So like a real meshy sort of thing, and then just have like almost like an I-cord edges, like I-cord for a neckband, which I've never done, and like the bottom, and same thing with the sleeves. So it's really just almost like a knit t-shirt or something. So I don't know. Who knows? I have quite some things planned. I have so like I need to finish that sweater, I need to finish that scarf, and both of those are going to take a while. I have that test knit that I'm going to do, and then I want to make an ugly Christmas sweater. And this is like a fantasy of mine. I always wanted it. I want to use like the cheapest yarn because I will wear it like 2 times a year. I'll wear it to like the in-laws and like maybe around the house on Christmas Day. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I can actually use some scraps that I have. I have a lot of blue yarn from a blanket that I made my mom. So yeah, and make it like ugly with like big thick like turtleneck and like long tight ribbing and like pattern, which I don't think will be Christmassy. I think, honestly, I'll use like a drops design or something, which is some like stranded color work. But then I'll play with the colors so it's a little uglier. Like maybe it has like a snowflake-ish motif, some more traditional thing like that, and then just like bastardize it a little bit so it's a bit more fun. But yeah, and I honestly think that might take me to the end of the year. Oh, and one other one that I want to make is I do have a lot of extra like cotton yarn that was supposed to be a blanket, but I didn't need it for a blanket. And my boyfriend has a nephew who's like a year old now. No, not even. And he's so cute. And I was thinking about using it for like the Ingrid sweater, which I have not. I want to knit, but I would never wear. So I'm like, oh, a baby knit would be perfect because everybody loves a baby knit. If it's cotton, it's fine. The yarn's kind of ugly, so I would dye it like a dark blue, I think, and then he can wear it for a season. I could knit the Ingrid sweater. It would use up some of my yarn. Everybody would be happy. So I think that I'm going to try to do that. But then I also need like a simple pattern. If I'm doing like 2 color work sweaters, like a twisted scarf, and then like the Ingrid is cable adjacent, I just need something easy. So maybe I'll do some hats. Maybe I'll do whatever with this yarn and just make a easy wintry sweater. I don't know. Also, I was thinking I have a ton of crochet yarn. I'm not going to crochet blankets anymore unless I'm like requested on doing it. It's fun. I'll probably do like baby blankets in the future, but I don't see that as actually like a thing that I'll do. I'll probably start making a bunch of sweaters, and like if my boyfriend doesn't want them or if I don't want them, then they go in a pile and people can like pick when they visit and say like, hey, here's this new sweater that's handmade. But Stephen West is like Mr. Crazy Color Man, and when I went into the store, I went to Stephen and Penelope today, and of course they have his shawlography, the 50 shawls, and they have like a ton of his shawls just like around, and they rotate them out. There's a couple that I've seen that use just like a bunch of colors and like a bunch of stitches. Now, I realize that he's very much like a process knitter. So it's like, let's play with all the colors of the rainbow and just like do this stitch. And by the time I get bored with it, we switch to a different stitch on the shawl and do something like that. There was, I forget the name of it, but there's one that's like really interests me that seems like it would just be like a color work. Like not color work, but like just like barf of colors, which is exactly what I need because I have all these like 50 gram or less skeins of all these weird colors that I am never going to use. And so I'm thinking that might be great. Or he has like his painted honeycombs or his painted brick shawl, which are all right. And then do that because I mean, I'm never going to wear a shawl. I'm not a shawl knitter. I'm not one of those guys. I'll wear a scarf. I'll wear a sweater I make, I'll wear a beanie that I make, and then that's pretty much it. And I'm thinking this might be my opportunity to just like play with all the colors and use up some yarn, and then maybe one day some woman in my life would love a crazy as hell shawl that she can wear, and it will make somebody very happy, and it will entertain me as I knit through some of my stash. So I was thinking about doing some of that. But these are all just future plans. I talk about those because I'm working on like 2 things. I'm working on the sweater, well, the baby blanket, which will be done soon, and then the scarf. So, but those are some of my plans. We'll see what happens. You know, the wind takes you wherever it takes you. I'm feeling very creative and inspired. I had like, when I first started Alex's sweater, I was like, I don't have anything, I don't want to knit anything, I just want to knit, and I forced myself to do that. But now I'm like, oh, what about this, what about this, what about this? So we'll see. I only have so much time in the day. I knit a lot, and I don't think I knit fast, but I don't knit slow. So I we'll see what happens. But anyway, I think next update will be pretty good. I don't know what I'm doing here, if this will even see the light of day, but I think it's a plan, and I want to really get into some stuff. Oh, I did go, there was like World Knitting Day or whatever, and I went to the park, and I know I sound super extroverted and stuff, but I'm not. And there was 2 groups of knitting in Amsterdam that were at the park, and I like sat by them, but like not to them, and I like took 3 hours to get the courage to go over there and like knit 2 rows and then come back. I do want to find some community. I know online that there are a couple, let's say, guys like me that are really getting things done, and I found some on Instagram and some on YouTube, and it would be good to connect with more male knitters that are trying different things out and see what's happening there. There's, it's a bunch of old white women, which is fine, and I absolutely love it. I love to like sit and just bitch at somebody in Dutch. Like, I think that's crazy, but like, you know, you always want to see yourself represented in the community that you're trying to be a part of, at least to some extent, and like develop real connections as opposed to just looking at them from afar. So we'll see. We'll put a couple videos out. We'll see what happens. I need to figure out how to take pictures for my Instagram, because you see this light, it's never going to work on this black stuff. It just doesn't work. So I don't have anything posted on Instagram. But we're getting there, I think, steps at a time. I think this is a big first step. I don't even know if you're particularly interested in this, but this is what's happening. Anyway, thank you all for joining and listening to me ramble about knitting, or actually not knitting a lot of stuff and just talking about things. And I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.